Hi.
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 It's been a big week.
It's been a big week.
It's been a big week.
Why are feet canceled? Hold on, we'll go into the big week in a second. Why can't you do feet pics on OnlyFans anymore?
Well, someone was just saying that it's just been overdone because it's blown up so much that everyone's doing feet pics that now no one's making as much money.
So it's not canceled. It's just the market is oversaturated.
Well, yeah, now everyone's doing it. And I think people don't realize, like, you really have to market yourself. It's not like you can just post, like,
Post
you
what?
You need a fucking brand. You got to be taking, like,
Well, I think
you got to, like, have, like, be making, like, I don't know, like,
your feet's gotta have
like
have,
tuna salad with your toes or something.
You're gonna freak out.
Stop.
The craziest thing. Okay, see, honestly,
Dude, guess what?
am I a bitch?
Hi. What's that?
Welcome to Long Distance.
Okay, it's been a big week.
Yeah.
Gabby's home for Thanksgiving. That's why we're always together.
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow.
She's leaving tomorrow. It's very upsetting. But we have things to talk about, I think.
Yeah.
You have a new nemesis. Between now and our last episode,
Yeah.
Gabby got a new nemesis.
No, last week we were talking about how I was auditioning new nemesi.
Nemesis. Is that the correct term?
My version of plural nemesis.
Okay, nemesis. Nemesis. What?
I was really struggling trying to find the right person.
Oh, okay.
And I was a little worried we'd have to open the call.
But then you presented.
Well, someone out of the blue sent in some impeccable material.
Yeah.
I mean, the character just leapt off the page. It was really, really compelling.
Yeah, it was compelling. And the character is compelling. And the thing is,
The character's compelling. Like, there's good things about it. You know?
I agree. By the way, there's so much you could touch upon.
Oh, I mean, I have a field day with this.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like we have so much to explore, and I think, you know, last time we were talking about like what a nemesis is, and like a nemesis is a worthy adversary. It's somebody who is, you kind of root for them to be as good as you. I'm not wishing them actual ill, and I think there are some people that have come forward. I don't know. How do you want to talk about this?
Well, I want to talk about the discourse around this podcast. We have recently gotten a fair amount of feedback and heard some things we probably shouldn't have, perhaps. But people are really betting against us in such a hateful way, and it's men who I'm talking about. Guys are fucking assholes.
Yeah, I mean, there's been like, no, it's been mostly men.
It's been mostly men that are mean about it.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah. Doing this podcast actually has really brought to my attention just like how uncomfortable it makes other people when you put yourself out there. Yeah. And there's like, they play it off as like, you know, they're making fun of us, I'm sure, which by the way, that comes with doing anything like this and putting yourself out there. But I just want to put out that like, I'm uncomfortable by this sometimes too. Like it's a really uncomfortable and cringy for me too. Yeah. And I go through all the time. And by the way, no one's even listening to it. Right. And I still am like, this is uncomfortable for me.
Right.
But it's also really fun. And
it's really, it's brave. I'm sorry.
Dare I say
the B word.
She's brave. But I think it's more people are just so spiteful and hateful. And I'm not necessarily shocked, but I'm also like, go read a book.
I grew up in theater. And, like, there was always somebody that, like, it's not the nemesis, you know, there was always, like, some kid that was, like, I don't know, like an ever-present little shit, you know, that was just, like.
What do they say in the Martha Stewart documentary?
A benevolent twat.
A benevolent twat.
You know, who was just, like, there rooting for my downfall. But the space that I was creating in was always a safe space, you know, like, theater is a very safe space, or at least the spaces that I have participated in.
Which is wonderful.
Which is wonderful. And it's interesting now that we're in the process of creating something, you know?
Yeah.
And the internet is not a safe space.
Well, I think I have this habit, though, also of when I talk about the podcast or even on the podcast, like, you know, I have a very self-deprecating sense of humor, which
is funny.
It's, by the way, disarming for people, and it's funny. But I realize, like, why do I keep selling myself down to make other people comfortable about it? Like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's like, no, it is kind of a big deal. Like,
well, I mean, not to say the quiet part out loud, but like, Alex Cooper started this by talking about sex graphically.
Yeah.
And then she made a deal for $125 million and interviewed the president or the vice president of the United States.
No, she
you know,
just
and
being popular in media that way as a woman
is really tough.
Just
and
tough.
I was watching Emma Chamberlain, but she was talking about how when she first started like putting shit on the internet, she was really, really young.
Yeah.
And she was like just doing it for fun and like the negativity wasn't there at first.
Right.
And what's so interesting is that on site, the negativity was there for us.
Well, yeah,
her insular community when she first started out making content, which is like,
by the way, and the most of the negativity is from
people we know.
Yeah, it's really disheartening and sort of like I'm not surprised. Like I knew when we were gonna do this that people
would have something to say, which is like,
of course, but everyone has everything to right. I'm not.
The takes are fine, and like even if you disagree with that, the rooting for our downfall is just like get a fucking life, dude.
No.
Like seriously,
it's honestly like it's
also like I'm so sorry. Like I'm a writer. I write comedy. The fuck do you think we're doing? No, seriously. Like I'm 5 fucking steps ahead of you, bitch. Sorry.
No, some of these people too. I'm like,
get this mic away from me.
Well, I think I feel less. I'm more like I went through a phase. I went through like okay, this is so hurtful and mean, and then I thought about it more, and I was like, wait, it's so funny how relevant I am to you. Why am I so relevant to you? I haven't seen these people in 3 years
or more,
and I'm like, you guys should probably you should reflect on that.
No, and listen, you're allowed to have a thought on this.
Yeah,
like,
you feel free to make fun of us.
It's totally fine.
The thing
it's just
is, Gabby,
don't be mean.
But the thing is, Gabby, is I'm not going anywhere, and I think that's the point.
That's
the point is like my face is going to be all over your feed, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to continue to do this.
It was already all over your feed.
Like, yeah, my face has been on everyone's feed for years, but people don't like that I'm actually
doing something with it. How dare you?
Yeah.
And it's also like people are like a little pressed we're going to talk about you. I'm sorry to break your little bubble, but we have other things to discuss that aren't you. I can't.
I mean, we're doing it now. This is the general you.
The general you. I'm not talking. No, but it's like people are concerned that we're going to bring on stories about
that they're bad, that we're going to, honestly, someone was like, I think that people are afraid you're going to out them for being just like bad people. But they've already shown themselves by the things we've heard about their response to this.
Right, but it's also like, I wasn't going to talk about you. Now I might. Well, I'm kidding.
Well, I just
it's like, how can they not fathom that the two of us have other things to say to each other, like takes and opinions and thoughts that don't have to do with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of men too who think that
that's
like,
why I feel so like
talk about them, and I'm like, you're just
like, what do you think we talk about all day? You? Seriously?
No, I really do. They must be talking about us because if they like, that's what I'm like. Why is this so? Where is the hatred from? You don't even know us anymore. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I
mean, they do, but like, I don't know. Yes, of course. Like you and I have talked about, like when I see people's weddings on Instagram, I'm like, you know what? I love her dress, but I hate the tablescape. You know, like I'm gonna have a take,
of course.
But I'm not like, God, hope their marriage fails.
Yeah, like hope it like,
looks like they're unhappy.
You can have judgments and opinions and make fun of things at whatever, but to be so mean
and
just
spiteful
like,
and like
just like evil. I'm like.
I'm sorry, and it's like, I'm sorry, we're just kind of an impeccable hang. Like,
sorry, I don't think people like that I'm funny. No, sorry, I'm just gonna say it. I don't think I think people wouldn't be, people must think it's funny because that's why they're mad.
Like,
right?
Yeah. I mean, it must be a little good.
It has to be just like just a little.
Just a little good.
Just a little. And we aren't, it's not that we're not taking this seriously, but I'm having fun with this.
It's just and like, it's just not that deep. Like,
it's just so not that deep.
And I'm not putting it down, but it's like, I don't know. There's bigger things. And we're just two girls trying to profit off of a vibe.
Yeah.
Okay?
And the vibe's great. A lot of people like the vibe.
Yeah, it's like, we're tough to hate. We make it really, really hard to hate us.
So maybe that's what it is. No, I think I make it really easy for people to hate me, but then they get to know me and they're like,
hard.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say we're tough to hate.
Well, anyway, so I just find, like, not just the podcast itself, I just have found the discourse around it and the experience of, like, making it and people's reactions to it so hilarious. And I'm like, oh, it's like making any, like, it would be as if putting music out or putting a short film out. Like, why is this? People are acting like we put a pornographic.
No. People are acting like Gabby and Lizzy are doing porn.
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
The vibe is like.
It's crazy.
My thought process wasn't like anyone is really going to be paying attention to this.
Right.
I mean, we just started.
It's that
we are not.
That's the thing.
But that's the thing. We aren't under the impression that like a ton of people are listening and it's such a big deal. But then now the things we've heard, I'm like, oh, people are fucking listening and it is being discussed.
Right.
So this is a good thing.
It's a good thing. And you know what? Keep doing it.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what? You keep talking about me. I'm going to be on all over your page still.
Yeah. So you will continue to have takes. It's just like maybe don't be a dick.
Yeah. Anyway.
You want to talk about William Sonoma?
Oh, so first of all, William Sonoma to me
is it Simona?
William
Sonoma.
William Sonoma.
Sonoma.
There's something kind of, first of all, it's William Sonoma during the holidays. They now have like, I'm obsessed with the peppermint bark.
Oh, it's incredible.
And now they have like tons of different options, like
that's
different
a good
flavors.
Idea on
and it's a little scary in there, but every person who works there is the dumbest person I've ever met in my life.
I think they're really nice.
They're so sweet. It's usually like
maybe they're not dumb. They're just checked out.
No, they're slow and they have no idea what's going on.
Okay. I know the Williams Sonoma you're talking about. That store, you can get stuck in there for hours. It's like because here's the problem. Like any store that's like, hey, you can pick out what you want, but we have to go get it in the back. You're fucked.
You're fucked. Like, you get roped. They're like, hold on, it's over here. I'm like, no. I'm like, I just wanted to get it myself.
Like, I'm sorry, I saw it on the shelf. I want to grab it. I want to take it. I want to put it in my bag.
No, but like,
I want it. I got it.
I had like 8 different people helping me in there, and I was like, what is going on? I felt like I was in a sitcom. I was like, I love it in here, but why is everyone moving at a glacier pace?
And why do you need 8 people to go to the back to get the thing that you just saw on the shelf? Yeah,
it's crazy.
No,
anyway, I still love William Sonoma. Great hot chocolate, but it's scary.
And the vibes are really nice. Like I do love
it's
like
the whitest place on the planet.
Yeah, no, it's like oh, this is what Goyesha is.
It's like
I'm like,
well, it's the same everywhere.
Yeah,
and I always go in there and want to buy a coffee maker. I always want to.
I always go in there and want to buy an apron.
You want to buy an apron?
Yes, I have the urge to to cook.
It's Martha Stewart in a store.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm saying I love it, but the vibes in there are.
Okay, there's the specific store you're talking about that's bad. The Williams Sonoma in New York, they are on their shit.
They're on their shit.
Yeah. But I also believe you can pull it from the store itself. Like they don't have to go to the back and get it for you. Like, don't quote me on that, but like I'm pretty sure I could just.
You're going to the back. People be going to the back.
It's quick. Like the one in
York
Columbus.
Is just
people be.
LA, everyone in LA work.
I have crazy. Like I on my way here, which is why I was a smidge late. I tried
Gabby's always late.
Yeah. Well, does time exist?
To Gabby, time does not. It's actually crazy. She's like, how are we ever going to get that?
I think time is like a little bit of a fallacy, but.
No, but you also like, we were going to do something at 11 the other day, and she was like, how will we ever get all the things ready by 11? I'm like,
that's not true. We needed to do, my day start, whatever, it's fine. I stay up until like, my office hours are like, well, I mean, I have, but like when I
My office hours are 8 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm up, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to talk shit.
Like 7:45. You could do a 7:45.
7 o'clock.
Really? That's crazy. Like when I have to be, what?
Give me
my
the
nails?
sheet. No, your nails look terrible.
Yeah.
Don't look at her nails.
No, when I have to be at, like, sometimes I'm called to set at like 4:30, 5:30, and I'm like,
yeah, that's.
No, but I'm so happy to be here. But like,
I want to die.
The Reformation in New York is also one of those, or no, all of the Reformations.
I'm over. I just want to touch the clothes. Do not go to the
back.
back.
Why do I have to go on the computer to pick out
the whole thing, and then you have to like close. There's
the door, and then there's like something scary about somebody like putting shit behind a curtain.
There's like all the.
It's like, are we in Oz?
It's Oz. It's literally Oz. Like there's like rustling in the back, and I can hear girls like, being like, "I can't find that the size 4," and you're like, "Oh, can I just grab it myself?"
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I would have seen that there wasn't a size 4. You know what's on the rack?
You know what's scary? Nothing's scary at Aritzia. It is like vultures. Nothing is scarier than being in the mirror at Aritzia and everyone's staring at you and the pants.
And it's like, what do you think about that?
And like the tailored blazer your mom's trying to make you buy like doesn't fit you, and like everyone is watching you be like,
well, it's like the Hunger Games. You have to go in front. of
everyone and like try on this like slate gray blazer, and it's
or like a silk top that like doesn't really like drape properly.
No, Aritzia's is so scary.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't there like a lot of lore about people have worked there and it's like a terrible vibe? Apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've gotten like one or two things there over the years, but they are not pieces that have stayed in my closet, and they've all been like really kind of expensive.
What?
My Aritzia stuff.
Like what though?
Like
the tailored slacks.
Yeah,
and that you bought for your first job.
But they're not like right, and they're really expensive. I guess we're never gonna get sponsored by Aritzia.
Yeah, sorry.
But we love Reformation. We just want you to change your stores.
Yeah. Well, Reformation used to be cooler. Like 2011 Reformation fucking
so
hit.
Cool. So yeah, it was so cool.
No, it's like drugs.
The Reformation vintage, like, unfortunately, is really good. Like, their curation of stuff
it's incredible,
is
but
really
it's so
good.
overpriced.
Well, and that's the
I'd be
problem.
spending $200 there.
They do the same. They go to all the same thrift stores that we could access. It's just like they do the work of finding it.
Sorry, Gabby.
I typed this docket up quickly.
Yeah, I've had a conversation about free will.
What's the question?
Is free will an illusion? And I had someone say that it's entirely illusion, and we are not responsible for anything.
So therefore, like, our actions, we cannot be held accountable.
And I was like, "You're just a white man."
He was like, "This is an illusion. I don't have to respond to your text."
Thinking like you were someone saying that to me. It was a white guy, and I was being like, "Oh, so you're just not responsible for anything and every." Well, I mean, we all have preconceived. Like, my thoughts, I don't think are original. Like, they are from. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like, are we a product of circumstance?
Yes.
Or are we an amalgamation of circumstance, our own personal opinions, and like the general vibe?
Well, like it's like generations and family and where you grew up.
There's like literal proven. Again, I don't have the stats. But like,
the science, Gabby, is
talking about DNA. But like, there is proven. What are you doing?
My swab.
There is proven research that like DNA strands hold memory. So any sort of like generational trauma can be inherited.
Yeah. I've got Irish chubby arms. That's some generational fucking trauma. They just wiggle. And it's just part of my story. You know what I mean? And it's years. No, it's like tender and soft, the arms. Like no matter how many Pilates classes, like it's just not gonna happen for me. And my mom does the royal arm, and like that's my future. My future is like doing.
Everyone does the royal arm in photo. Like everyone, Giselle does the royal arm.
Aren't there? Okay, I have this thing where like certain last names I can't pronounce, so it's just like. It's their first name and then just like blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but people do that with a lot of Jewish last names.
And I'm like,
yeah. No, but it's like it's not as funny when the name is like Herzog. It's like touch grass. You can say it.
What do you mean Herzog?
Like people like try to like do it with Jewish last names. They're like Schwarzenberg, whatever, and it's like it's Schwartzberg or whatever it is.
No, but there were people in like high school where like their first names I knew and then their last names were just like gibberish.
Well, my favorite.
Well, I do that in books too. Like when I was reading like the Court of Rowan and Thorses.
Because they literally make up.
And
words.
I'm like reading like in my head it's like and then blah 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 blah. In my head it just blank. Like
and then he takes the sword and drives it into our night court schmigadoon. And I'm like, and how many books of these do I have to read? I read like 4 of them.
No, like half the book I haven't actually read because I don't know what the words say.
But it's made up like fantastical. When it's good.
Oh,
it's good.
You wanted to sorry, speaking of free will though, you were gonna say that the bonus question is about apps. Like, yeah, they do an algorithm. It is based off of like
I know, but like is the algorithm attuned to like what you fed it, or like you were interested in something one time and so it thought that that's the thing that you like and then it repeatedly gives it to you?
No, that Hinge will go through phases where they like only do one type of man, and they show me that, and then when I like exit on all of them, they're like, okay, this is not her man. I'm like, this is not my man.
No, but it's so interesting how they're able to suss out the type of person. Hey, they're able to sort us into types.
Yeah, like vibes.
Well, it's interesting. We have a friend that like is himself like he gives off like a very like Silver Lake Echo Park man. And so they keep pairing him with like a Silver Lake Echo Park gal. And he's like, I want a basic bitch. Like, how do I tell the app?
He's like, I want
someone who goes to Soul Cycle and is proud about it.
Well, the thing is that I was actually thinking about this. Like, I had someone, there was a period of time where my Hinge, like, didn't really have any pictures of my face. They were all, like, blurry or, like,
Lizzy was, like, an alt girl for, like,
I literally was, like, and they were, like, I didn't really know what you looked like. And there are, like, probably 1 trillion photos of me on the internet. It's like there's so many to choose from.
Are you going on a date without sussing somebody out on the internet? That's reckless and dangerous.
What's
like, just
really,
do a quick search. If you can't really see their face, like,
no, but what's really funny is that I tried really hard to come off, like, mysterious. I was like, I'm gonna create a completely different vibe, and then you meet me and I'm like, hi. I'm like, hi. I'm like, and then you go to my Instagram. There's like, you go to my Instagram, there's like 20 selfies just
of my face.
Boom, boom, boom. There's like of my face.
That's funny.
Anyway, yeah. So do you think free will is an illusion? I don't think it's an illusion.
No, I don't think it's an illusion at all.
But I don't think you like that means we're not responsible for our thoughts.
I don't think it's an illusion at all. I think we have choice. I don't believe in the fact that like all of our actions and our fate is predetermined and destiny is something that was written in the stars upon birth. And no matter what choices we make or what we do, that outcome is going to happen. I don't think that.
Well, it's the same notion of thinking that like everything happens for a reason, which I don't believe that at all. I think life is a series of random events. And I think like you learn lessons from, obviously, like things happen and then you learn a lesson and you choose maybe differently or the same.
Yeah.
But I don't think that like having like anyone was supposed to have be like being cheated. Like, do you know what I mean? There's certain things where I'm like, that didn't
need to happen to you. I think like, no,
unless you're supposed to learn some lesson.
No, but I don't think that lesson you had to learn in that particular way. Horrible, horrible things have happened to people, and it's like those things weren't supposed to happen. I don't believe if there is a God that like he, she, or they is malicious. You know, I don't think that. I think that, you know, I guess this is kind of contradictory. I believe in luck. And I believe
in luck too.
I don't believe in coincidence.
I believe in luck for sure. I mean, my dad always says about like it is being in the right place at the right time to an extent. And like success is based on obviously a lot of hard work and dedication. But as we've learned in the last 20 years that like now that doesn't really
it's
matter.
Not a meritocracy. Like,
no, not at all. And
listen, when the opportunity arrives, it certainly does help that you've worked really, really hard at something. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when the doors open for you or when the phone rings or whatever it
definitely
is.
helps that
it definitely helps that you are really good at whatever the fuck that you're trying to do.
100%.
And being really good at it, sometimes people are like born with this ability to do it, whether it be talent or whatever it is. Like it's not just applicable to the arts, but like I think it also takes for a lot of other people like a really high level of dedication and hard work. Like that still is a thing.
Like
you know.
Yeah, I don't believe in pulling yourself up by the bootstrap. Like that's not a thing anymore. That's not how society works. But I don't think hard work like if you work hard at something, it doesn't mean you're going to succeed. We've learned.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't mean you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
But if the opportunity does present itself, it really fucking helps if you're good at what you're doing.
No, it shit helps if you're really freaking
good.
But
also the system is built to like keep people like us at the top.
Yes.
And I mean, we know that we don't have to explain how society works. But I also think people make choices. Like I'm thinking about the choices I've made thus far in my life. And some of them have really been based on like what I guess this is kind of a different topic, but like based on what I thought people wanted me to do. You know, like I didn't realize at the time like where I chose my college and like, or like what college I wanted to, what I studied. Like it's like the line in Fleabag that I love. Like she's like, I want Phoebe Waller-Bridge is like, I want someone to tell me who to vote for, who to love, how to dress, how to cry, who to hate, who to love. And I feel that all the time. I'm like, I think people secretly, there's part of them that's just like, just tell me what to do. Like,
yeah.
And I think, so you make choices sometimes, or at least I have, and I think it's interesting based off what other people wanted me to do. Like, I chose things that other people said I would be good at.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works, and sometimes that makes you really unhappy because you think you're going to be good at something because someone was like, oh, you should try this.
Yeah.
And I also think sometimes people don't know. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do at 18. I didn't have – I'm still working on, like,
I think it's
self-identity, but I think that's where people get in trouble and why people are so spiteful and hateful and insecure, because their opinions about themselves are so based on outward validation, and we don't give ourselves enough inward validation.
Yeah.
And when I say like inner self-exploration, like you don't need to be like doing pottery and like reading I'm just talking, it doesn't need to be something. You just have to be comfortable with what you're doing. And like if that makes you happy, there's so much judgment.
Yes, but it doesn't matter what choices you've made if they've been influenced by other people or not. It's like, my point is that I think free will does exist.
I sometimes do, and then sometimes I feel really shaped like intensely by my environment.
Of course you're shaped intensely by your environment, but like you still have the like free will and like simple things of like, oh, I'm just going to throw my phone on the ground. It's on the ground. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
it's on the ground. Yeah, but like
I chose to wear this top today. You know, like
but it's kind of like not to quote the best movie of all time. It's like Devil Wears Prada.
No,
it's like that scene.
Decision. But that doesn't mean that there's not free will. Like there's other tops I could have worn. Anyways, can I see the topics?
Yeah, there's other tops. She has plenty of tops she could wear. No, I get that. I don't.
What does your name mean?
Lizzy
or Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. Oh, it's like fucking biblical. I think as hell.
What is
it's like a really old. Why? What does Gabriella mean?
Gabriella means gift of God.
Oh. Totally.
But Gabby means excessively and annoyingly talkative.
What? Wait,
Gabby, when somebody's Gabby as an adjective. So, and you can listen to Long Distance on any streaming platform.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, Elizabeth is a feminine name of. Okay.
You're like, okay, pop-off parents.
Elizabeth is a feminine name of Hebrew origin. Did not know that. God's promise or God is my oath.
God's promise or God is my oath.
Literally, like the name comes from the Hebrew word shava, oath, and el, God.
Who knew that Elizabeth was so Jewish?
The name is a variation of Hebrew name Elisheva, which appears in the Old Testament as the name of Aaron's wife.
Elisheva is kind of a gorgeous name.
Gorgeous. Do you know what my Hebrew name is?
Elisheva?
No.
Oh, you're given a different.
Well, I went on Birthright, but I did refuse to get bat mitzvahed at the wall because I was like standing my ground that I'm not choosing a religion. We can talk about religion on a different day, but I made the Rabbi Yaakov from Queens, Brooklyn, give me. He's so Hasidic and so Jewish, and I was like, Rabbi, can you give me I just want like I want the gifts and the party and the name. Yeah. And I was like, can you give me a Jewish name? And he was like, okay. And
he was like, okay.
He was like, okay, queen. But he looked at me and was like, you kind of look like a baby deer, which I was like, okay. And so my name was Tzvia, Tsvia, Tzvia.
Tzvia.
It's kind of a sleigh.
It's kind of great.
I know. And then every time I got drunk on the trip, they would be like, Tzvia! Tzvia. Wait, I didn't know Elizabeth meant that.
Well, there's a sentiment in Judaism that like your name is sort of the destiny that your parents have chosen for you. And like I think there's a story, literally what the fuck do I know? Yeah. But I think there's a story where at the end of in the Talmud or something, at the end of your life, God says to you like, did you live up to your name?
When did you?
When did I learn all this?
Yes.
In my free time. I'm kidding. No. When I was writing
Gabby's feature, title and plot under wraps.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did not know Elisheba. Alphaba.
Well, Alphaba.
Meaning either oath of God or God is satisfaction.
Oath of God.
I know.
Well, we gotta work our way
Yeah, we
around
gotta.
that.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that.
There's somebody that I know.
God is my oath.
Yeah. Like, I don't know about that.
I'm like so anti-religion.
There's a girl that I know that I could never use it.
Yeah.
But her name, like the meaning of her name is exactly who she is.
What it
And
is.
it's so incredible.
What's
I'm
the
like,
word?
I wish I could use it.
Wait, why? Wait.
Well, I can't because
Can
it's
you
like it's
say
her
the
real name.
name?
Use it as like, not on the podcast, but like use it in something that I'm writing.
Let me just look it up in the Urban Dictionary.
What?
My name.
Okay. Well, that's different.
Oh.
Urban Dictionary is like the best girl you've ever met with the thickest ass you'll ever see.
Wait. Mine is really funny, I think. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Lizzy. She is a smart and beautiful girl. Her smile lights up an entire room. She has a lot of junk in her trunk.
Yeah.
If you have a best friend, Lizzy, you are so lucky. She is so trustworthy and a sweet girl. She has many friends. She can be a sexual tease
like,
for sure.
Did you write this?
She is flirty and sassy, but in a relationship, she's loyal. Gabby.
What? Mine's not good. What is it?
Gabby is an amazing best friend.
Oh.
True. She is tough, but awesome.
Okay.
True. She is really pretty. True.
Lizzy's like,
she loves being unique and would make a great girlfriend. She loves photography. And she loves just doing spontaneous stuff.
I'm not the most
Spontaneous. Oh, wait. She's amazing in every possible way. This is another one. She plays at least 2 sports.
Oh,
usually.
For sure.
For sure. And then the little like line, like how to say it in a sentence is Gabby is a hot girl explanation. She plays at least 2 sports.
At least 2 sports.
You know what I was watching the other day? Speaking of religion and music, I was watching all the Creed. Have you seen a Creed music video before?
Yeah, I have.
They're kind of iconic, and I'm sorry, they do not make pop stars like this anymore. He's such a little weirdo, and literally the music videos are so crazy.
Lizzy.
And I'm like, why don't we just don't have everyone's so boring. Bring back white male weirdos.
Yeah, white male weirdo. Dude, I'm listening to so much Fall Out Boy right now.
Oh, well, okay. I was also watching old Green Day. So hot.
Okay, OG Green Day, so
the
hot,
music videos
so
are
good,
incredible.
I mean, I was obsessed with American Idiot, but that's okay, like the musical. But we also love the OG album.
No, the music videos for Green Day are so fucking good. There's one that's sort of maybe it wasn't Creed.
I want to bring back white boys who like rock.
Yeah, like Jamiroquai.
Yeah,
rocks.
Yeah,
they don't make them like that anymore.
Where are they? Where are they?
Not here. But no one's like funny or interesting or unique anymore. Everyone's like a little bit
like labels think like you gotta get viral, and so like
this
one thing works to go viral.
Honestly,
and
just like everything kind of sucks. Do you know what I mean? Movies are worse. TV's worse.
That's not true. There's been some incredible things in spite of the climate. Well, the strike. There's things that are coming.
The strike, not the strike. Yeah, but music's not the same.
No, it's not.
And I think I'm brainwashed by my parents who like literally lived during the greatest time of music ever and like were MTV 80s.
Yes,
and I'm sort of like, I have nostalgia for a time I never lived in.
Yeah.
And that is like, I'm thinking about like how I'm going to like get in the car with my kids and be like, kids, this is Tyga. It's like, my kids, I mean, I love Drake.
I will be like, kids, this is Britney.
Yeah, obviously, but
that's nostalgia.
Drake's
that's
Drake's
not really. That was
off.
really before.
We should probably
time.
talk about Drake and Kendrick.
Okay.
I have been a Drake girl, obviously, always. Me and my brother were talking about. Actually, just me and my family. We're over the holidays. We're talking about just like the Kendrick Drake situation. You know about it.
I do know about it. I don't like know about it.
You don't know about it. But really, what's to know is that Kendrick is like, highbrow, artsy, sort of. The intellectual, the artiste, and Drake is just ultimately more popular than him. It's a popularity contest.
Okay,
and
I didn't know that.
There's always gonna be those two people in the universe.
Yes.
Then I was like, everything relates to Wicked. So I was like,
oh, thank God. I was like really floundering there.
Like, it's like, the popularity contest versus someone really
trying to do something meaningful.
it's like, are you a chill girl or are you not a chill girl? Well, because
to be or not to be.
No, because there's that interview with Ariana Grande where she's like, we had to go on the separate paths and accepting that she was going to. The status quo is important to her.
Yeah, Galinda.
Linda. And I was thinking, maybe I have a habit of being a Glinda.
Ooh.
In a lot of ways.
Okay.
And sort of like internalizing and trying to.
I think this week we had a moment where you chose the Glinda path.
100%. Because I was like, I'm anxious and I don't want to like
ruffle feathers.
I don't want to ruffle feathers.
Better to like
it's better to
err
be like,
on the side of sure, whatever.
Right. And sometimes to keep your peace, I'm like, that's fine. Like, it's not even worth a breath.
Right.
But I think then I'm filled with a lot of, I wouldn't say I'm an angry person. I think I'm filled with a lot of resentment and anger towards people because I never actually, I kept the peace too much.
And Glinda there's the great song in the opening of Act 2 where she's like, I couldn't be happier, right?
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like maybe I'm just.
She got everything she wanted.
And maybe I want to be alpha, but maybe I'm not that girl. Like maybe I just don't want to be that girl. Because I do in that way feel like even despite keeping the peace, I'm still not the girl that gets picked. I mean,
and that's the thing.
I don't mean even romantically.
Glinda gets she gets the prince. She gets the thing.
Right.
And she's not happy.
It's how I feel about the podcast a little bit. Like it didn't, now with learning some of the things I've learned, like I just have like so much resentment towards people who are so hateful.
Well, and that's in like, not to keep bringing it back, but like she has that moment in Act 2 where she's like, fine, I guess I'll just be wicked. Like I'll just be the evil.
Well, that's the thing.
Witch that you are making me into.
Well, Taylor was saying to me, like, that's the whole thing at the end. Like they market her as people want to rally around something.
Yeah.
People love rallying around hating people.
Yeah.
And like people who are hating on this, whatever. By the way, we're acting like a bunch of people listen. I'm just saying, like the handful of people I've heard that are being unkind about this.
Right.
There's something so horrible that they just are rallying around hating people. And that is what it's – and they're marketing – they use alpha as a marketing tool. They just like turn her – and you realize like they just made the entire thing up.
Yeah.
So that's iconic also. They're just like, yeah, she's awful and we all hate her. Go kill her.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
They're like, okay.
Yeah, everyone's like, totally. Can't find me. Look to the western sky. The psychosis. Wait, the psychosis of lying to your therapist?
Yeah.
People lie to their therapists all the time.
I lie to my therapist. Well, I don't really. My therapist dumped me. My therapist dumped me a while ago. And I haven't really found
Wait, that's so funny. If you ignore red flags, are they just decorations?
Thank you. I wrote it.
Yeah. I don't know. Red flag. I hate the term red flag now.
Well, because you're like, red flag. Of course you hate the term. You're like, I see no evil.
It looks pink to me. Yeah. No, yeah, I don't.
You're like, I'm a little colorblind.
Yeah, I'm like,
you said red, I said blue.
I'm like, I can't really see that well. So it wasn't my fault that he said he wasn't over his ex-girlfriend. And I went on 3 dates with him anyway.
You're like, that?
Yeah, it's like, you saw red?
Yeah.
I didn't.
No,
a red flag, I think
like.
Deal breakers is a more important thing to discuss. Because I could find red flag in anyone, but a deal breaker, like what is a deal? A deal breaker for me
is like, I'm still in love with my ex-girlfriend, which is every lesbian ever.
Mm-hmm. Not wanting to have kids, deal breaker for me.
Okay, fair.
Like,
very fair.
It doesn't need to be now, but like if you don't want to have kids.
Which is so fine to say.
100%, but it won't be for me because I will be popping them out when the time is right.
Okay.
And what's another deal breaker? I keep finding myself in these situations where I'm like, these men they're all making short films.
Well, it's like having a short film is like having a really expensive business card.
But I'm also like, I'm making short films.
Short films.
Tiny short films.
Tiny itty bite films.
On TikTok. On TikTok. It takes me about 30 seconds. Didn't think about it once when I posted it. But I also make short films. So I'm sort of like, what do you bring to the table? I'm like, I bring tiny little films.
That's fun.
It's fun, right? Okay. Do you like that?
Okay, well, thank you so much for listening to the pod. Bye.